Howdy folks, this is Hiram A. Beef coming to you from my little corner of the man cave. It's my reloading area. Figured I'd give you a little bit of a tour and show you around, and then I'll do a few videos on reloading and case preparation and cowboy action shooting. Post them to my YouTube channel. As you can see, I save a lot of my brass and pick up a lot from the range. I use glass jars for brass and plastic jars for heavier things like bullets and lead shot. I keep all my gun cleaning materials and bullet casting materials in those cases on the bottom shelf. I have all my range equipment, spotting scope, chronograph, ear protection, eye protection, and so forth, and various gear boxed up on these shelves. Here I have all the empty cases from my different guns and travel cases. I have lots of 45 ACP brass that I got from a good friend who was a competitive shooter. I buy mostly coated bullets. We do a lot of cowboy action shooting in our house, so I buy from Acme and Missouri and a couple of other companies out there. I've found they all give great customer service. My son's pellet and BB guns up against the wall in some old gun racks. And our cowboy action shooting cart, which folds up nice and conveniently. I do some shotgun reloading, and I keep the most commonly used wads and shells right there on my bench. So when I put the shotgun press on the bench, I have everything right at my fingertips. That's my Lee Classic Turret Press, which I have a different turret set up for every caliber that I load. Keep a number of reloading manuals on hand. This is my classic Star loading press for 45 ACP that I got from that friend of mine. It's set up for one load and one load only, and it is a joy to use. It's an antique piece of machinery that is just really beautiful to use. Machined brass and steel. Have my case checkers, various sizes, scales. I have a spot to put shells that I've crushed or that aren't suitable for reloading, spent primers, bullets that I had to pull and got damaged. I have my case tumbler. I keep all my primers separated and locked up. And I have powder in the other orange cases, and that's all loaded ammo in the green cases on the bottom. I have my Dillon case media separator, and I keep a small air compressor on hand. All the Lee presses, as well as the Dillon, are mounted on Lee quick change bench blocks, which make them easy to remove and swap out with other presses. This is my Dillon Square Deal B, my favorite press. It does handgun cartridges only and is a progressive press that is a joy to use and puts out 150 to 200 rounds an hour without even trying. I can reload the 9mm, 38 Special, 357 Magnum, and 45 Colt currently, but I will probably be replacing some of my Lee die sets with sets for the Dillon. Star Press is made by Star Machine Works. It's no longer in production. It used to be one of the most popular presses for competitive shooting clubs. It is a serious machine that does a great job on 45 ACP target loads. I'm a big fan of the internet and getting reloading data directly from the source, but I do keep a number of books on hand for easy reference. and I make notes where appropriate. I have these handy stands for the Square Deal die change sets and powder dispensers for several different calibers. This is my Lee single stage press that I use for 50-70 government, and sometimes I'll set up a universal decapper or a bulge buster for 40 Smith & Wesson. This is a drop tube. It's used in black powder cartridge loading. I just purchased it when I started reloading for 50-70 government, and it really does work to compress the charge. In a future video, I'll show you how that works. This is my Lee Load-All 2 for loading 12-gauge shotgun shells. I have it mounted on a little piece of wood, and in a future video, I'll show you how I attach that to the Lee bench block and get it set up so it's a quick change operation. That hole on the bottom is so that the spent primers can drop into a cup underneath. I have two toolboxes on the bench. This one I picked up from Harbor Freight Tools for $60 or $70. It's not a real heavy-duty bench, but it looks nice on the bench, made of wood, and it's served me well for about 8 or 10 years. It's got all reloading equipment in the different drawers, from scales to case preparation to primer prep, and labels for all my reloaded cartridges. The metal toolbox was my grandfather's. He was an engineer at Grumman Corporation in Bethpage and Calverton, New York, and this was his Kennedy case. And I have this loaded up with various tools. Some I use for reloading, some for firearm repair and maintenance, and general gun care. Keep some flashlights and a bore sighting tool in the top drawer. And in the top section I have various tools, a punch set, a screwdriver set, which my son has apparently borrowed, and a Lee powder disc measure set. The little drawer at the top is a handy place for the bushings for my load-all press. I have a number of powder scales. I have a Dillon, a Lee, and another one which I think is a Lyman that I've never actually used. Powder trickler and funnels, different tools. These are my case gauges, which are used to measure the finished cartridges after they've been reloaded. In the closet I keep my spare die turrets for the Lee press, any chemicals I use for cleaning and maintenance. I have books with some reloading notes. I have lots of reloading materials, including tubs of media for the tumbler underneath. I do cast my own bullets sometimes, mostly for round ball for black powder shooting, but I have bought a few molds and I'm going to be doing some loads for other black powder shooting, 45 Colt and 50-70 government. Thanks for watching. This was my first video and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for our next episode, which will be on basic reloading components, the tools and supplies that you'll need to reload smokeless cartridges. This is Hiram A. Beef signing off. See you on the trail.